शशिकरण के माताजी. I think I'm online now, friends. Just a minute, I will be with you. Can you hear me now? Can someone of you confirm this, and so I can start playing? Is the audio and video okay now? Call madam. So what I'm going to present to you now are the deep bass flutes. So these are specially designed flutes. connection. Lost the connection, I think. Yeah. That was Rishabha Priya. And now I've been asked to, somebody has requested for a short copy, and Bindu Malini. I'll try and play that little bit. Okay, there's a question. Never seen a flute like this before with a blowing hole. So yes, these are the new generation of instruments that I have a wonderful flute maker who is helping me with. So this is like putting an engine on your flute. So it aids deeper tone and easier blowing, and also it helps with tuning the flute better. So I'll just take that question for now. I will play a little Bindu Malini for you. This is the beautiful raga Bindu Malini. I should mention about one thing in our music. There are many beautiful ragas. For whatever reason, composers chose to compose in a certain raga many songs. But certain beautiful ragas only had one song or did not have a song at all. So this became a bit of a disadvantage to musicians because they only had to use a medium of ragam, tanam, pallavi or compose something on their own and did not have an existing repertoire. So the Bindu Malini is one such raga where we only have very, very hand few compositions. And the most famous being Tyagaraja's Yenta Muddo, Yenta Sogoso. So I have played a Ragam Tanapallavi and a CD. This is a very wonderful raga and I love this. So somebody asked me for a copy. It's a very common raga. This is a beautiful movement. The great T.R. Mahalingam sir, the flute legend, used to play this. It's a very popular phrase in Western classical music, but skipping some notes in this, he used to play. He used to play this typical expression in. So I tried and built on it. It's quite hard to play that actually. So for those students out there, Shashiji has asked a question. What special tutukarams we use? This tutukaram is nothing but how we accent the notes. Notes can be accented by the use of fingers, the use of air, how you stop the air and continue with the air, or how you use your tongue. There are many kinds of Tutukarams. So, in Tanams, is individually blowing every note, but same continuous note, but accenting it from the throat. At a higher speed. Can also modulate how much air goes in and how much, it depends on the sound modulation that you need. So it need not always be at a high volume like that. It distorts the note also. So you have to obviously control the airflow. So purely by cut blowing, as we call it, there's a beautiful way of what I call as a claw fingering. If you see my fingers, they glow in like a bird's claw. These are slightly different flutes, so the positions are slightly different, but it helps in producing some fantastic hollow techniques. There's another way of prolonging that technique. There's also the tonguing. It's like playing. You see, that tongue kind of flutters at a high speed. So there are different ways. One, just to play the flute with just stationary fingers, the fingers that are stationary, like with just once in a way movement. But there's also a way where every tongue movement can coincide with a finger movement. So, like this mridangam chorus, like things like that. You can always imagine. Some tricks of the trade. So, Hamir Kalyani. Shashiji wanted Charukeshi. In flute, there are some very interesting things. The deep slides from one note to the other, where you jump straight, like. And also the way you can slide through the notes, but not specific notes that you can pinpoint, Like. So there are so many possibilities. I would like to, at this stage, introduce one of the new instruments of mine. I have to give you a little bit of history to this. For a long time, people were asking me, why Carnatic flute sounds so shrill? So I believe in the past, according to some old timers who have told me, and also it's quite a common thought, that concerts happened in a mic-less environment with no PA systems and in temples and in halls. So the legend T.R. Malingam perhaps would have chosen G, the short flutes, because of their sharp tone and range. But as days went by, the great N. Ramani and many other flautists brought the main tonic note to D sharp. And I also, in my life, I brought it down and further to C, and I've played many concerts in B. But yet, there were a lot of them out there who, including my guru, Pandit Jasraj, who said, Shashank, you should try and play in a longer flute that touches the heart of the people. Don't worry about how it entertains. So that kind of set me thinking 10, 15 years ago on how to play bass flutes as a main instrument in Carnatic music. And I've also produced a few CDs since then, since about 20 years now, in bass flutes. But this is altogether a new concept where we built a special instruments in an instrument. My flute maker helped me, where the span of the instrument is the same as that of a shorter flute. So my agility of the fingers kind of really is the same, and on a bass flute. So do hear this, friends. It's very interesting. I'll play this especially. I've already played many concerts, and nothing new for many of them who have already heard this. But for those, it's an interesting instrument now. The gamakas also blend in beautifully in this. So due to the bigger span, some of the gamakas and akaras could not be played before, but in this you see even the normal fantastic intricate akaras like so that's so you will in the future, near future, you will see me playing many more concerts with this. Even with the bass flutes, I've arrived at a very beautiful pitch, which is a secret now, but I've arrived at a pitch which kind of merges beautifully with the violin and mridangam accompaniment as well. So do come to our live concerts. Don't stop at the Facebook lives, because live concerts can never be matched with anything else in an auditorium. And I'm sincerely hoping as a musician, when this lockdown would end and we would get back to our old times. So there's one question of how I play the upper false notes. There's nothing like false notes. Everything is a note in the raga. It is not like a false voice. You can't compare to that. That only vocalists can comment on what is a false voice, but a false note is. So the more pinpointed blowing with an intensity can get you up to the top. So earlier the range of the flute was about one middle full octave and then two half octaves, one in the bass and one in the top. But now we have much more than that. So comfortably I can scale two clear octaves. And then couple that with bass flutes, you can extend the range like further down. And then on the top, you have a further one octave like. So just the other day, somebody asked me to, on another live session, somebody asked me to comment on what a flute player needs. Or I would say any instrumentalist in general needs a fluency. He should just be able to play what he thinks. That's the basic to any performer. So I'll show you some things that you can play with a single breath and accent it with the throat, and just give me an ear for this. So. spanning the two different octaves. And at this junction, I would like to show you one beautiful way of playing the two octaves together. So, there is a knee of the upper octave, knee of the lower octave. So you can combine the two. You can hear that. It's one after the other. Now, this is one after the other. Together now. I had a request from somebody for Kavadi Sindhu. I'll just play. It is a folk melody from South India. So there's a question on balancing the vocal and instrumental style. For those of you who may not be aware of my training, apart from my father who was a flute player and Certainly, I was influenced by his flute playing at home. I didn't have a formal teacher in flute playing. So all my gurus were vocalists, including the legendary K.V. Narayan Swami sir, and in Hindustani music, Pandit Jasraji. So, well, coming to a performance, it's all about maintaining a balance about vocal tradition and what you can contribute as an instrumentalist. Because Carnatic music, I would say it's unfortunate that Carnatic music has no two styles. Like in Hindustani music, you do have a Gayaki style and an instrumental style also. So there are compositions meant for the sitar, there are compositions that are meant for sarod, there are compositions that are meant for other instruments. So, but in Carnatic music, everybody has adopted to a vocal tradition. Of course, the vocal tradition is it's a fantastic tradition, but it may not be very suitable for all the instruments, especially the gamakams. So I would actually openly say that go learn vocal music, try best to produce especially the compositions and some of the gamakas like in the vocal tradition, but you can also include very good instrumental techniques that your instruments can add to the performance, add to the vocabulary of sounds. So here, one it can be any example. If I play a composition now, how does it sound to you? It's just a bunch of notes. But this is a composition known as Paramatmadu, and I'm playing a part of that. So when you play compositions, you have to try best to reproduce the Sahityam as it is. So if I sing this for you, Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Da Ni Sa Hariyata Haru Data 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 Hariyata. So when you say you're playing a composition, you have to sound as close to the human voice and the perfect vocal rendition as possible. So there are many examples like this, even in Tanam playing or Swaram playing. So if, for instance, maybe the vocal tradition will sound like this. To this, you add a bit of instrumental playing with plain notes and notes that kind of build some harmony. get back to the vocal waves again. Then instrumental. Also, you can include some instrumental techniques like there is no end, no beginning in art. Everything is music, and every system to perfect would take a long time. And even today, I learn something new every day. And I try to learn something new every single day, whether it be how to produce a better tone, better gamakams, better means, better connections with the notes, and exploring newer ragas. So I think I should bid you all goodbye. If you have any more questions, we can quickly take them. And someday soon, I will present. I hope this situation improves and the lockdowns go and public performances return. But if I don't see that happening in the near future at least, but I think I will take an opportunity to present to you a nice online performance that is perfectly presented with accompaniments, because as a team, a lot of things that I spoke about today will come to kind of we will give you a clearer picture. Thank you very much, friends. It's been a pleasure sharing some music with you. And sorry for the glitch in the beginning with the lag. So, any more questions? Okay, somebody is asking how to get birkas fluently. Birkas and gamakas, for those who are not aware of what they are, gamakas both are connection between notes. Both are playing phrases, but in two different ways. Gamakas may be this kind of a slide kind of connections between notes. But what is the birkas? Double notes, use of double notes. But it's all about practice. So, pa sa da ba da sa ni da ni ri da ni. So combine together. Same phrase with gamakas. So this phrase. So playing with gamakas and playing with birkas. Gamakas. Birkas. Some musicians in Carnatic music tradition, like the great G. N. Subramanyam and many others, have combined birkas so beautifully with gamakas. Both have to go hand in hand, and it makes the going very, very interesting. These techniques can't be really explained over a webcast live like this, but it's just sharing some knowledge with you. But maybe I'll do a session for the flute players separately one day. So thank you again. It's been a great pleasure playing a little music for you. Do stay home, do stay safe, and have a great day ahead.